Welcome everybody. This is Epi, and we're gonna do one more interview. The first one I did in this specific format has been with Pilot from KuroKy, and the second one done relatively recently. I think it was this weekend even. This past weekend I made with Eternal Envy from KuroKy as well. It just so happened that he was available and he was down for it. So if you are interested in those two, then you can check them out on the Join Dota YouTube. This one's gonna go up there as well, but. Uh, yeah, we'll move on. Right now, I am happy to announce that I actually got KuroKy with me, and we're going to be talking about the International 3, Na'Vi, just the happenings right now in the scene, and anything else Dota 2 that comes to mind. So I hope you guys enjoy, and if you enjoyed the other interviews I did, then I would greatly appreciate you guys following me on Twitter as well. That's at Epidota2. I changed that recently. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. KuroKy, my friend, can you hear me? Are you here?
Yo,
What's up? How are you feeling? Everything fine?
I'm pretty good, thanks.
How is your daily routine right now? You're back in Berlin after everything went down. Like, what did you do today, for example?
Today I woke up pretty late since my sleep rhythm is rather bad right now. So I just woke up before our game we had today. But generally I'm just preparing for my studies to start soon and nothing special to be honest.
Oh, who did you play today? I didn't catch. I just came home from work, so I hadn't had a chance to check.
We played against Aspera.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was in Star Series. Okay, so how did it
exactly.
go? Did you guys win?
No, we lost.
Oh, who's Aspera?
It's a mix of known players and they're pretty good.
Oh yeah, Sharfik, Go Audio, Zizu. I can see it right now on
Yeah,
the.
it's a Russian-Swedish mix, I believe, which is rather unconventional, but it's an interesting team.
All right, awesome. Speaking about interesting teams, yesterday we had a match, KuroKy versus Alliance, also for Star Series. Did you have a chance to watch it?
I was on the road, but I caught a little bit on my phone. But I think the game didn't go for too long, so
Yeah, Alliance actually won it relatively quickly, and it was hyped. I mean, I was hyped. I was excited. It was like the biggest match since the International 3, just because KuroKy has been so powerful. Um, but the draft was also quite interesting. When you think back about this game, did you feel like KuroKy had a chance against Alliance? So what was your opinion on this matchup?
well, obviously any team has a chance to beat any team. That's not the question. The thing is, the question is how high is the chance of KIP winning actually over a top tier team? And given that Alliance just won TI3, they are pretty much the best team in the world. And Alliance is a super experienced team. They went on to many lands this year, and I think KIP haven't even met each other in real life once. So they can't be too comfortable playing with each other. I mean, you play a lot online and you get used to each other. That's one thing, but you actually need to know the faces you're playing with. And I think the game also showed that they're quite inexperienced, especially playing a top team. So it was a rather obvious outcome in the end.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that's when you say that you have to know your teammates in person as well. Is that like this land factor that people like yourself, Puppy, and Loda talk about a lot, or?
Uh, it's one of the things for sure. Dota is a very psychology-based game, and it's like you go on land, you start going on land with your team, and the first land you will never really play good. You might play, of course, you might play good, but you will never play your full potential. And especially if you have an international team of team consisting of people from all over the world, the there's a lot of personality differences, which you which they will just be there, cultural differences beside language differences, and you just need to get used to each other, and you have to connect your ideas together. It's hard to explain, to be honest.
Have you gotten used to everyone in Navi?
Well, I know these guys for some years, and now I'm playing with them for some months. I'm pretty much used to them. It's not a problem.
Do you? I remember. I think it was actually in an interview I did with you before, and we were talking about, and that was even after you played for Virtus Pro shortly, and this whole language barrier thing we're talking about. And you said that essentially, if you have five really pro players, then essentially talking that much isn't necessary because you can just read the game to a certain extent. Um, During the international and the matches, what was like when you guys were communicating? What was it all about? Was it strictly kept that the things you said in the booth when you were playing were really relevant to the game, or was it also just other stuff? No, or like what happenings in the game are relevant enough for you guys to just verbally communicate then in the booth?
In the international, since the atmosphere was pretty tense, we all try to give in information as much as possible. So we call out everything we see and everything we think or each individual thinks is relevant to the game.
Hmm.
So it's not only the captain speaking, but when it's about commands, it's only Puppy and me giving the directions in the game most of the time.
Oh, that's interesting. So, the higher the stakes in a tournament, the more focus obviously you throw into the game, and the more information you shout out to your team.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, can you? This is maybe a weird question, but before I went down with the interview, I wrote down some stuff, and one thing I wrote down was just, could you explain Alliance to us? Like right now, when we see them play, it just looks really smooth. Everything looks really good what they do. Can you explain Alliance?
In my opinion, Alliance is a team that plays with structure, something we actually don't see too often. And if you look at the top three teams of the international, I think Orange and Na'Vi, they're two teams without real structure compared to Alliance. Alliance game plan is just very solid each game, and their core idea, it never changes. That's why they're always stable. Orange and Na'Vi, they're both rather unstable teams. And given the idea Alliance is following, that is having a solid plan. For example, they always pick Dire's side for a reason, because they know they can have the Roshan advantage. That's one thing, and they also can have the Dire safe lane, which is like it's better for their strategies. For example, if they opt to go for Coddle PL, it's always better to have them on Dire, since it's harder to crush the tri lane of Dire. While Navi and Orange, they're rather spontaneous teams. Like we've seen Orange pick up so many heroes in TI, changing the strategies. Of course, they have every team has a core idea, but not to the extent Alliance has. So that's the short version of explaining Alliance, I guess. Everything else you can pretty much see in the game. The draft is very. It's like even though all top teams they know what Alliance picks, it doesn't matter. It's like we all know what Alliance is gonna pick,
Hmm.
but it doesn't matter. If you look closely at the Lions draft, you will always see in the first two picks they're gonna pick the offlane hero. That's Prophet most of the time or a lone root, and the last pick is always S4's hero, pretty much. And they're the two core players of Alliance, so I think that's how they structure the picks. The first pick has to be the Bulldog hero, since there's a high chance of it getting banned, while the mid hero can be last pick, since there's so many options for the solo mid hero.
Who from Alliance do you rate the highest when it comes to all-around Dota 2 capability?
S4.
Why?
Uh, um, because he's the reason for their success in many levels. It's when you watch the game, you can only see the player playing, so you can see his stats and you can see how he's gonna last it and stuff. But all that shit, it doesn't matter. It's about how you can move your team to be a champion, to be able to win. It's the only thing that matters. And as far as the guy who's behind all the strategies, pretty much, he's the guy who drafts. He's the guy who commands them in the game. And I think he's the guy who came up with all these ideas. So it's obvious choice.
Okay.
It's like there's in team you can replace players and they're not really gonna change. But it's like Alliance can change any player, I think. And as long as they have S4 and Admiral Bulldog, the team will not change at all. So that's what I think.
Well, what Ake, I mean, it's a pretty bold statement. I feel like every single player on Alliance has this huge following of fans, and then you come out and say,
No,
uh,
don't misunderstand me. All the players of Alliance, they're super great. They're awesome players. That's no doubts about that. But there's more behind it. It's it's hard to me explain in English, but let me try. There's just so many factors which are relevant how a team can be successful. It's not only about if you play good. It's uh, it's a lot of it's like you need charisma. A good leader needs charisma, and if you see S4, he pretty much has a lot of strength to lead his team. And well, what did I want to say? Goki, you can ask some questions so I can
okay,
answer
yeah,
something.
uh,
Because right now I'm feeling kind of empty in my mind, to be honest.
okay, no worries, it's all good. I feel like many people will agree with you that S4 is the mind of Alliance and that he's the guy around whom everything revolves.
I
So,
mean, if you look at S4, you can see how selfless he plays. Most solo mid players, I can say Mushi and Dendi, for example, they play very flashy.
mhm.
And they always have their dominance in the game and they do whatever they can to keep their dominance. But S4, especially in the international, you can see he just sacrificed himself. If you look at Alliance structure of the game, he's the guy who takes the least farm from from his team. I mean, minus the support players. Even he even gives EGM a lot of farm and space to get some items, but he himself he won't take any farm because he has a plan. And why Alliance won, in my opinion, because of S4 is he has a plan and he will do everything he can to make this plan work. He doesn't care about himself. He doesn't care if he does get some items. He will get his dagger, which is the core of most solo mid heroes, and that's it. Then he will stop farming. He will move with the tree of EGM, Ake, and himself, while their offlaner is always used like a carry. He will always take lane farm. We've seen Alliance always picking up Prophet, and no team can play Prophet as good as Alliance, and there's a reason for that. If you just look at it Dota-wise, you see that the Prophet always he's taking the lane farm, which is not the norm for the Prophets. We see in other teams because usually Prophet goes into the woods and he's gonna keep farming and use his teleport to push or gank. But in the Alliance case, you always see the Prophet on the lane farming. Of course, he goes to woods when he's endangered, when he thinks he's gonna get ganked, but he's getting the main lane farm besides Loader. And then EGM is the third guy in line getting the farm, especially if he has a hero like Windrunner. But as for himself, he's not gonna go with his heroes and start farming and stuff. He's gonna be with his team all the time and just command them.
That's very interesting, the points you make. And you mentioned that Alliance, and that's obviously by and large due to the fact how S4 operates, have a lot of structure and they have a clear game plan. And you said that your team, for example, doesn't operate quite like that. So, um, can you explain what the difference would be if you would take Alliance right now and then your guys' team play? What sets well, like what is the Na'Vi style then?
The Navi style? Well, the Navi style is pretty much explained by the word Navi. If people have watched games of Navi, it's very chaotic, and we like to go around and kill heroes, pretty much. It's not
Yeah.
like we have a plan, for example, like Alliance, who like to use the map, I mean the Dota map, as efficient as possible. Like Alliance really knows how to abuse the Dota map. They stack, they have so good timing on farming creeps, farming ancients. I think no team has exploited it as Alliance can.
Hmm.
While most other teams or on Navi, we just gonna go with the lanes. I mean, of course, we have some ideas and we're gonna try to put emphasis on specific things. But in the end, it's about try to control your lane, and from then we're gonna see what we're gonna do next. It's like most teams, they can't plan out a whole game which goes on for 40 minutes. They're gonna go with the flow, and we are experienced enough and smart enough to come up with the plan itself while we're in the game. But we're not gonna say, okay, we're gonna give away 6 towers because it's gonna happen, and then we're gonna strike back. We're not gonna say that at minute zero. We're gonna see if we have to say that or do that while we are playing. So that's one difference.
So go with the flow, and the so it's just aggression and intelligent approach to the game.
Pretty much.
All right. I was a lot of other people were pretty worried, I guess, after the international happened, um, and then we were all very relieved about you guys deciding to all stick together. And I think, but a lot of it has to do with the fact how much was at stake at the international. But without wanting to delve into like the interpersonal stuff in the team, I want to first ask you how the experience for you personally has been, because I know that you attended every single international that has happened. First one with GGNet, then Mouse Sports in the second, and now with Na'Vi. And your name, especially here in Germany, is the biggest name in Dota and Dota 2. People like for you German guys, Knochen from a show called Knochen's Esports Sofa has done a big interview with you as well. And you're just the biggest Dota personality all around in Germany. And your first and second international performance was relatively lackluster. You didn't have a lot of success there. So it must have been maybe just talk to me about how it felt for you personally to experience the international three and your journey there.
Well, what I can say is the first international, I went there with a broken team. We just lost two players pre-order tournament, and Valve at that time didn't set rules that people can't change teams. Which is right after the whole roller coaster started with GGNet, M5, and Na'Vi.
Hmm.
Ice Rock came up immediately and said, if you keep changing teams, from this point we're gonna exclude you from the tournament. Because they didn't expect this kind of thing to happen. But obviously when first time we Dota players heard, okay, there's this tournament coming up, people got very serious and they would try to take their best chances. So the first international, right away, we all knew pretty much we're not gonna do there anything. I mean, we just got new players in, and on top of that, we had a player who couldn't actually play Dota 2 till 5 days before the international. That was Aizen because his computer couldn't handle Dota 2, and Valve was very helpful. They tried to send him a laptop, but it arrived, like I said, like 5 days before the actual tournament. So we didn't practice at all, and so I'm not gonna say we didn't care. Of course, we all want to go there, and we are players, but we knew we couldn't do anything.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, it's happening. Nothing I can do at this point. I'm just gonna take it as experience and see what Dota 2 is about. It was the first time seeing Dota 2 for the public too, so it was quite a nice experience. The second international, I went there as a stand-in. So again, I went there pretty much unprepared because the team I played with, Mouse, we didn't practice at all before the international. They asked me 3 days before the flight, and I just came back from Gamescom. So I was thinking to not go because I was tired, but some players which were attending the tournament convinced me to go there eventually. So I went there to meet some players, and I didn't even expect to play. We went there as a substitution team, so it all got quite weird. And then we started playing WE. So since MUFC couldn't come, and then suddenly I was at the international again. I didn't expect it, and I didn't play much Dota 2 at that time either. I played for Virtus Pro, but that's it. Before that, I still played Dota since ever since TI1. When Dota 2 went into beta, I didn't really play much. I just started playing Dota 2 a lot after TI2. That's when I decided to go professional again. So going to TI3 was the first TI I went there prepared with a team I felt comfortable with.
Hmm.
And it was an amazing experience, obviously. I mean, I knew what's coming to me, and as you said, it's my third international, and it's the second time in the same location, so nothing surprise or nothing I feel too uncomfortable with. And playing all the way and going up to the finals, it feels unreal to some points. You don't even realize what's happening because it's so big, and the experience itself is very great as a player because there's so many nice people around, a lot of people who cheer for you, a lot of nice fans. It always keeps you motivated, and at some point in your life as a pro gamer. First, when you start pro gaming, you're gonna play only for yourself and prove yourself or prove everyone else that you're good. That's one thing. But now I've been playing for quite some time, so at some point you get the feeling, or I got the feeling at least, that it's my job to not let my fans down, since they've been supporting me throughout many years, and I can't fail them pretty much. They put trust into me and they like watching me or my team. So it's my duty to play as good as possible to deliver them a show or make them proud or make them feel good, whatever.
Isn't it also just a huge, like, how were you able to deal with the pressure if, of so many people watching? Like, you were in the spotlight, you were duking it out against the Lions in the grand final. So, how
Um,
were your nerves?
well, just before the Alliance we played Orange and we were all pretty nervous about the game. And the third game we played against Orange when we won, it was kind of unreal. And we couldn't believe it. So after the Orange game, my mind just felt numb. I couldn't feel anything anymore. And when we started playing Alliance, I felt like playing at home, to be honest.
Mhm.
I still didn't actually get to process the thought of we actually won Orange. We won the game, which was it was incredible hard to win, and it was the third game, and we were losing so hard, and but we still turned it around. And turnarounds in Dota, they are so rare in the top level of gaming. It's so rare. It's usually a team will never let you come back.
I feel I get the drift that this third game versus Orange was extremely important to you guys, obviously.
No, it was the most important game of the tournament.
Yeah.
I'd even dare to say that I think it was for all of us the most meaningful game in this tournament
Was that
because
the match where Mushi was playing OD and you had Gavos on Nikes?
exactly that was this
Holy,
game.
yeah, that was great. Can
It
you
was like
talk yeah, go ahead.
we were in a situation which you play the third game of this series and you know you're gonna if you lose this game you're out and we were losing the game and on LAN it's a lot about morals and psychology and how you can structure your mind and keep yourself concentrated. And Orange went for a strategy to just start owning us from the very beginning of the game. They had no real carry. They went for Windrunner, OD, and another and Darkseer. And they had no real carry because they tried to. I think they tried to have a psychological edge over us, but and it worked quite well for them. I mean, they had such a big advantage over us, but we still tried. We still tried to win, even though I think it was very hopeless from a objective view on the game.
Hmm.
But we still tried, and then I know a lot of people talked about the Aegis deny, but we didn't even notice it until like 2 minutes later. We were so deep into the game, concentrated on the game, we didn't even notice that there was this message of somebody denied the Aegis, and like we all knew, we just need to take one good fight, and we kept losing heroes on the map, and we kept losing fights. But then one fight happened, and we just played this fight so good that we
Which
actually.
fight?
I think it was the fight on bottom lane where I can only talk from my point of view. I was able to carapace in time, so OD actually lost all his HP. Like I waited for him to cast ultimate. Like the animation is hard to see, so I tried to um, figure out when is he gonna cast his ultimate. So I carapaced in time, and he lost like all of his HP. And then we made a trade, so we didn't lose the fight, but we didn't really win it either. But it was the start of coming back. And if you start winning a fight for the first time in the game, you already feel better. You're gonna feel like, oh, we still have a chance to actually do something. You don't know until you actually see the results. And then the fight in mid happened. That was the most important fight. That was after the Roshan then, I think. And again, I can only talk from my point of view. I didn't rewatch the game, so I can only talk about my experience, what happened in that fight.
Hmm.
I know that I think OD was fighting with my team, and I only looked at Windrunner and Sand King to interrupt them as much as possible, since they were the two key heroes in this game for them. I mean, for the team fight. there's one the shackle shot, and then impale and epicenter. Everything goes around with that. So I was able to jump both of them and carapace the iron shell. So Darkseer got stunned, and then I double stunned him with the impale, which was the most important thing in my opinion, because I can't waste one. We had only one impale in the game, only one real stun, and I couldn't really waste it. So I was able to do that, while my team was able to bring down Obsidian in that time. I mean, Outworld Devourer with the black hole, etc., and there was nothing to stop it, and no force stuffs being used. And then we won the fight, and from that moment, we, we still were. The situation was so tense, but from that moment we knew we can do something now in the game, and then we started winning actually.
Man, I feel intense just listening to it. I mean, and you haven't rewatched it? Like, what are some other things when you think about the game? I really feel like this is some very interesting stuff for the viewers when you talk about situations in the game because like a million people watched it. So when you talk about the mid fight, I know exactly now in front of my mind what you're talking about. Is there any what are some other scenes, if there are any, from this match that you remember, and can you talk about why you remember them? Is there anything else?
In the Orange game,
Yes.
well, usually what's in my mind is I can recall most of my mistakes, so I don't really think about the moment we started winning because I don't care about that moment. Like we were winning, so we're doing something right. I'm only thinking about stuff. What did I do wrong in the game? So that's the situations I can recall. For example, on top lane, I saw them putting a there was a situation when I came from behind the river, and I saw them put a sentry ward, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna run in now. Like I said, okay, I'm gonna run in, guys, and we're gonna go rape them. And I run in, and I was thinking, should I put Carapace on now? Like I knew I should put my Carapace button now, so Sanking won't stun me and I can stun them. So I was thinking for like 3 seconds. You know, the situation was tense, and it's like y- I didn't feel 100% in that moment. And if you start doubting your actions while you're doing something, you already lose the situation because either I do something or I don't. So I was thinking, should I put Carapace on? Should I put Carapace on? Boom! Sand King stunned me, and I just died right away. So the whole gang failed, and I was like, okay. It's like stuff like this happens all the time to every player. It's given the situation, you play the international. The situation is so tense that you just don't know what is the right thing. You never know actually until you do something. But if you overthink a situation, and it's happening quite sometimes to me. I mean, that was one of the situations when I overthought something, even though I already know the answer. I already know it. I know what's right, but I still doubt it for no reason. But it's gonna make me lose, right? So I died, and the gang failed.
That was the situation where you went ahead, the rest of your team was behind you, and the sentry ward was near the dire pull spot to the lane, right? And they were waiting there as well.
No, no, no. That was another situation. That was the situation which you mean where we jumped the Darkseer and
Yeah.
we killed him. No, that was another situation. That was I was talking about. That was on the top lane. They were near our uh, tier 2 tower.
Oh, okay.
The Darkseer situation was just before that we won the fight, and then we had the idea of going to smoke and go to the woods right away, so we can catch them off guard. And it actually worked. We went there and they didn't expect us. And but we had a focus problem. That was the problem because it's like we just won the first fight in this game,
Hmm.
and then we were like, okay, we should pressure them now. It's like the best chance for us to win the game. We only try to do stuff to win the game, obviously. So we went there, and then I think we were overwhelmed since we went uphill. I spotted the Darkseer, so I started going on him, and Funny started hitting the Darkseer, but then he went over to the Bane, and Bane had quite a safe position. So that was one mistake. We killed the Darkseer and he just bought back. And then we all called to go back. Just go back and, leave everyone behind. Maybe, I don't know who died. I think in the end we all died. But we were like, just go back. We killed him and he bought back and we used all our cooldowns. He bought back. So there's nothing left for us to do there. He will just TP back into the fight right away with all his cooldowns. But we said, let's go back. And a lot of times in Na'Vi we say, let's go back. But we don't go back. we'll, we'll just fight. And it's the result was obvious what happened there.
I got
So
during this match. I one thing that I noticed um, a lot was how freaking spectacular. Because I mean the things you're mentioning, like your carapace moves, and then the stuns of several people. These are things that I, for as a caster, for example, am prone to miss. Like I miss these things, and I don't see them very often because I'm focusing on like the heroes like OD and stuff. And but now then when you talked about it, I remembered. But when I think about this match, I specifically recall Gevast on Naix being extremely good with his reactions on Rage with Naix. Um, how did you perceive Gevast as a carry in that match? Because I personally think that was really fucking awesome.
no, Khawa's reaction time is way above average. That's why he's such an awesome Nyx. He can armlet toggle a lot of times. His rage is most of the time on time. When he feels like he wanna use it in time, he will do it in time. And since his reactionary play is so good, and it's obvious Nyx is a hero who his main item is armlet, and if you can toggle your armlet, you're already gonna be a great Nyx. On top of that, you have to put rage on time. So I had no problems with his carry play. I was very satisfied
I
with
was
his play.
I remember on bottom lane, OD was four staffing in to hex him, and I swear to God, I think it was nighttime, and it doesn't even matter if it was night. I guess it does, but I think it was nighttime because that would make it all the more awesome. And Havas must have been able to see him for just a millisecond, like literally, and he was able to
I
rage
think
out.
that's unlikely. I think we saw him.
Yeah?
Um, if somebody forces us in from nighttime and he doesn't get you hexed, it means that it's his fault, not your awesome reactions. It's impossible.
Okay. Maybe it was daytime then. I
Yeah,
don't know.
probably nighttime is it's too hardcore to be honest.
How um how was your communication after the matches? Like, for example, after the Orange game, were you guys just like, "Oh, holy shit, that was."
Yeah, we were just numb. We just couldn't believe what happened. And then we realized, okay, we are in the grand finals of TI3. And before the Orange game, Poppy and I, we fought so much how to beat Alliance and what to ban, what to pick. And then we got the chance to actually use our strategies. So, but still, we were feeling we were just dead in head. You know, there was nothing for us to do. We just didn't know. Okay, now we're going into the finals, but we were. I think we didn't even realize we beat Orange until TA was over, and yeah, it was quite an experience, I gotta say.
What were the talks between you and Puppy like when it comes to how to draft against Alliance? Like, uh, how did these talks go?
Yeah, well, we played them in winner bracket, and our ideas failed, or we didn't really have ideas. We we actually never got to play Alliance, and I mean, we played them so rarely, in like ever since there is Alliance and there is the new Na'Vi, and we never met them on land before either. So the first winner bracket game was more like a test of skill between these two teams, just going with their stuff. We actually we went quite unconventional way in the winner brackets. We played Wisp in the first game, a hero we are rather uncomfortable with. Like we never really use Wisp. We only used them in China in the Alienware Cup,
Hmm.
and I never really practiced Wisp either. I just and when we were in Shanghai, we were like, well, Wisp is strong. We know that in Europe we never use Wisp. We always ban them actually, and so we just started picking Wisp, and I never really played him. So I was okay. I need to do my shit. But we still won with Wisp every game in China. And then we went against Alliance, and then we didn't play Wisp since China till the game to Alliance. So again we played Wisp, and we had Skywrath Mage solo mid. It was such a gamble. We felt good about Skywrath Mage, but this hero just doesn't work against a team like Alliance. So the first game we just lost. They had Alchemist. He farmed up, and they took some key fights. And on top of that, they had track gold, so they just won the game. And we could never really get rolling with Wiz, Sanking, Skywrath. We could never do anything together. We killed the puck sometimes, but that's it. And we had Gyro as carry. As a carry, we don't prefer to play actually. I think we only used him twice in TI. That was, yeah, only twice I think. So we felt bad with the first game already. And the second game we picked Luna and Tidehunter solo mid. It's also something we never practiced, but we just felt like we need to test something. Like Puppy and I, we were like, we need to test something to realize what we actually have to do. So they were like kind of test games. I know it sounds kind of stupid to say because it's the winner bracket finals of the international, but that's how it is because we knew at this point we can't actually beat Alliance. We knew it. We just knew there's no chance. It's not they're better and stuff, but we just couldn't. We've all seen their strength throughout the tournament. We have seen their draft, and you can only do what your own team is capable of. And Puppy and I, we are 100%. We 100% know what Na'Vi is capable of, and that's the reason why we have success in the first place. Because if you know what you're capable of, you can work with that, and you can go to your limits and actually do something.
So what were the things you learned after your loss in the winner bracket finals when you went into the grand finals?
Well, we realized what we have to ban. I think in the winner bracket finals, we kept banning Prophet and Lone Root and heroes like that. But when we went to the grand finals, we just changed our draft completely and we created chaos into the draft. We've seen heroes which you never see usually. I mean, in that, you don't see them that much. I think we have seen Bat and Wisps every game. It's heroes that are banned usually. Instead, we just started banning their supports because we had the idea of banning their mobility, which goes through the supports, and Alliance picked heroes which are they're very broken, to be honest. Like Naga Siren. No team even realized how strong Naga Siren is. Only Alliance showed that. We actually started practicing with Naga Siren too. Days before the after the group stage, we had like 1 free day or 2 free days. So we went to the internet cafe in Seattle, Game Clocks, and we played there with Zenith, and we started playing Naga Siren because I wanted to start playing Naga Siren. I told Puppy, pick me Naga Siren. I think the zero is Imba, and he was like, yeah. So we played Naga Siren and we raped Zenith like 10 times in a row. And then we went to the playoffs of the international, the first game against Orange, and we picked Naga Siren right away, and we lost the game. So our confidence about the zero was shattered like right away. We were like, okay, let's forget about Naga Siren. Let's do stuff we're feeling better with some usual Nikes, Puck, Rubik, Chen, these heroes.
Hmm.
This was the first game of the playoffs, and like I said, LAN and Dota in general, but especially LAN because it doesn't really apply to online games. It's very psychology based. It's everything that's competitive is psychology based pretty much. And Dota 2 or Dota is a deep, complex game. So there's just so much stuff you have to, like I said, which is relevant how a team can be successful in the end. So when we went into the grand finals, we banned Naga Siren first right away, and the second ban, I can't actually remember what the second ban was. I know that we banned Coddle and Enchantress in the second ban phase. We just tried to shut down their supports.
In the grand
We
final, in the fifth match now, or
No, in every game actually. I
oh,
think our like their bans didn't move at all. Like only the second ban phase changed for Alliance, but the first bans they banned out Darkseid and Nakes every game, and they chose Dire 5 times, and we chose Radiant 5 times, and we banned Naga Siren for sure, and one more very key hero I can't remember right now.
Cutlass or
No, I can't remember right now, to be
okay.
honest. Like I said, I feel very stupid right now in my mind, very empty. But anyway, um, warte mal kurz.
He just said, "Wait a sec, please," in German. So
Okay, sorry.
no worries.
Uh, what was the question?
We're talking about what you learned against in the winter
Yeah,
bracket
we're
final.
still there. Anyway, we went some hero, and it worked quite well in the grand final. We were able to take off 2 games, actually, and we were 2-1 in the lead, so I think that speaks for itself that the bans actually worked. We lost eventually, but well, I think our strategies itself they worked quite well. So we were rather content in the end. with our ideas.
I remember S4, I think it was, after the grand final, because even the boys from Sweden, they were so shaken after the grand final. Like, obviously, for them too, it was a whole different experience. And I think it was S4 mentioning that in the last game, Puppy tricked them, kind of quote unquote tricked them, by picking Enigma third at the end of the first pick phase, in the beginning, or fourth.
No, we force pick him because
It was fourth, right?
in the fourth game, they banned Enigma as last hero,
Mm-hmm.
and we planned to pick him. So when we went into the fifth game, we just said we're gonna just pick Enigma right away before the last ban stage. So because they won't expect it, we knew they won't expect it, and they didn't. And so we just got our Enigma, and we could last pick some other hero. So that went quite well for us.
And the last pick was TA, and that was
Yeah, it was TA. So that was like the chain reaction of things. That's what the longer the series goes, the more mind games are into the draft. Since they banned Enigma as the last ban in the fourth game, we knew how they think about the zero now in the fifth game. So we can't risk to last pick Enigma. Enigma is one of the best last picks you can have, especially in a big tournament. You like these clashy heroes who can black hole and like they just make scary team fights. Again, there's a lot of psychology in that shit. It's like you have Enigma, you play against Enigma, and you know you like there's a guy who can actually destroy the whole team fight. So it's already hard to take fights. So we just force pick him, as you said, since we knew their opinion about the zero in that case.
I think I don't know which game it was, but I've seen Puppy time and time again with his Enigma during the International 3. Even sometimes when he had Black Hole on cooldown, it was still on cooldown for 30 seconds or so. There was an engagement happening. Puppy blinks in, throws a Midnight Pulse, and just walks toward the enemy. And they're just like, "Oh shit, get the hell out!" And it worked. It worked pretty often. So that was really nice. But yeah, what was when you think back about the International 3, the whole event? What was the the biggest play that you personally made? What was the one thing you have to say to yourself that you are proud of yourself for doing this in a game?
Uh, I haven't really thought about that to be honest, so I can't really call a situation
Just
right now.
spontaneously.
Uh, like I said, I didn't really think about it, but well, I think like we talked about the orange game, so I think even though I didn't play good for the first 20 minutes, that I know it goes unnoticed in streams and casters. Like you're not gonna say, "Oh," it's like you see if 10 heroes gonna clash, and you're not gonna say, "Oh, Carapace blocked OD ulti and it's winning the fight," which is a fact, but you don't really see it, right? Because you see Nakes hitting stuff and Puck is doing flashy spells, so you don't see that. I think that was one of the key situations, and I don't know. I can't really recall any super play. Like I said, I didn't think about it.
And in which
So
game was the Carapace situation? Was it was game three against Orange, right?
yeah,
Gonna,
exactly. It was the game free.
gonna have to go back and look at that. All right, but that's totally fine. I mean, that's
No, I don't even know if it's the biggest or best play, or it's one situation I recall. And the main fight, like I said, when I was able to impale two heroes, like when one hero, and I was a hero which had no items, I had boots and dagger, is able to control two heroes, and one of the heroes is a core hero, that is Windrunner, you already win the fight.
hmm.
If one support is able to do that. So that was very important for me personally. And yeah,
I just think it's important that even that players also, you know, say things that they're proud of and stuff. I think that's also
yeah,
good.
but I don't really care about that. It's like in the end you have results. That's what matters. I don't care if I made some super play or something like that. So I don't think about it.
Okay, what is when you look back at the international, the whole event, the biggest mistake that you feel you've made?
The biggest mistake? Uh, I don't know. I don't think there is a biggest mistake I made. There's like a lot of small mistakes. They make the game, right? But there's not something like, I don't know.
Like an Aegis deny?
Yeah, not something like that.
Okay. So last thing I wanna just we're gonna wrap up here shortly, but after this very rough an emotional grand final. I gotta tell you, I was really, really, I don't even know, just shaken up about the whole situation. It was really late here in Germany too, but we were so pumped about the whole thing. And Puppy was in the like you were talking about how extraordinary it is to sit in this booth in the grand final, all eyes on you. Everything comes down to this one last game. And Puppy has been in this situation now for a second time. He's been in the grand final before. How was Puppy? Um, how did you perceive Puppy in your talks with him after the grand final of the international? How was he feeling?
Uh, we felt quite good overall because we went we went very far. We got to second place. We we beat the third place team twice in the playoff and elimination stage. That is Orange, and we beat the fourth place team once. That is Tongfu. So it's quite an achievement. And we were the only team, I dare to say, we were half a win away from winning the grand final. And so our overall results, they were very good actually. And a lot of people didn't expect that. I mean, we have a lot of Na'Vi fans, but it's like a lot of people already didn't like the idea of having one German, three Ukrainian, and one Estonian guy, for example. And so we were very content, to be honest. And we have set our goals. Second place finish. I mean, second best team in the world. It's nothing to be ashamed of eventually. Of course, as a player, you're disappointed. But Papi and I, we are very calm persons itself, so we're not gonna live in regret. There's no point for that. So we we were okay, I can say. I mean, of course, we lost the grand final, but still, it was it was fine.
Okay, so I agree. I like the way you think about these things and you talk about it because I agree. Just you've accomplished a whole lot of good things. Dendi after the match appeared to be pretty sad about how things went, and in the interview as well, he was talking about how just he threw the game and things were getting very difficult. Was it like you and Puppy being the calm guys and being like, hey guys, this is nothing to be ashamed of. It's we lost. It does suck, but you gotta realize what we have achieved here. Were you two the calm guys, and the rest of the team was a little bit more emotional about the whole thing?
Um, well, Dandy itself is a very emotional person, so and like we all saw how close we were to winning actually the tournament. But when we got together, we were all happy in the end because we knew how much luck we had in the end in this run. I mean, like you win, that means you win no matter what happens. But there were a lot of good signs for us to come this far. The Aegis Deny and the game against Tongfu, they were both so close. And we also know our situation in the team. Um, like one of the biggest weaknesses in Navi is discipline. Our team is not very disciplined, and we have no real ideas going into this tournament. We just changed our draft in this tournament while we were playing. In the group stage, we played Fnatic. The first two games, we played some draft. We lost, and suddenly we just started picking Weaver, and we never practiced with Weaver. But we still won a lot of games, and then we just kept changing our picks while we play. And this is also the biggest strength of Navi. We can just do stuff without really practicing or planning stuff because our experience and individual skill is very, very high. So, and our team skill is also very high. Like all of our players, I mean, even though people think there are communication issues and stuff, which is all bullshit, like our synergy is very big in team fights. Our coordination, you never really see big coordination issues in Navi. So there's that thing that gives us a lot of success. So obviously, then he was disappointed. Fanik was very happy. He came to me and he was very happy, and he just talked some stuff, and I was happy too, so it was okay. So yeah, I didn't really talk with Ross from that point. He was going mad at this point, and but that's another story.
So he's the only one that was just having a hard time accepting the fact how it all happened.
Yeah, well, there was like there's a lot of tension going on between Ross and Papi throughout the finals, so I can't go too much into detail. And since I'm the co-captain, the tension transfers to me as well. So there was a lot of moral problems between Horst and Papi mainly, and he didn't really talk to me, and I didn't really talk to him either. And Funnig is just Funnig is just good with everyone, and so is Dandy. They're just two guys. Especially Funnig is very independent in these kind of situations. Since he's also the new guy, like Funnig and me, we were both in the same boat. When we joined Na'Vi, a lot of people they weren't like, oh nice, they kicked Light of Heaven and Smile. That's so great. No, they weren't like that. Like Light of Heaven and Smile are two renowned players, very famous and very likable. So a lot of people disliked the change, and we had so much to prove. We had so much. I think people don't even understand how much Funnig and I, like how much pressure we had or still have in this team. It's truly immense. And it's like even if we got second place, and we still take blame for second place. If we would have gotten, and I mean we're talking about second place at the international. Just objective view, it's a super great achievement. But anything below that, people would have flamed the shit out of us. And like we had to deal with that pressure for one. And so Fanik and I, we always related with each other very good. I mean, we understand each other very good and became very friendly.
Yeah, I can
Since
imagine.
we had to fight together, I had nights where we had talked together and we were like, we need to do this to rave and we need to do that and blah blah blah. So we talked a lot and became very friendly with each other. So yeah, then he got second place. I got second place. He came to me and he's like, "There's no point to be sad, Kuro. Last year we both got 16th place. No, we got second place." And I'm like, "Yeah, bro, you're right."
That's
So there's
beautiful. No, that's a very very good way to view it. And I agree. You guys can really be proud of yourself, and I'm very very happy for you guys. The just one last thing. The differences in I know you said you can't talk about it too much, but the differences between Chavost and Puppy, is it in light of strategy? Just so I understand, like what the root of those differences are. Is it?
no, this not strategy. These people have no right to doubt strategies because they don't contribute in the first place. It's like only Papi and me, we make all the draft and we make all the strategies. I mean, of course, sometimes they give some input. I mean, Danny sometimes says, I like this hero. And we're like, yeah, it's great, but he sucks here. But that's it. You know, so it's like everyone who has a team, you know this guy. It's like you're the captain of your team and you draft, and he's not gonna really say anything in the draft. And then you start playing the game and you lose, and then he's gonna come to you and say, why do you pick this? You're stupid. And in your mind, you're like, shut the fuck up. It's like, you didn't really help me in the draft, you didn't contribute before the draft, so why do you think you have the right to now say bad stuff about it? If you truly want to improve something, you come to me before the games and we talk about strategies. Every good captain, he gladly accepts the opinion of all his players, but you can't do that after the game. But about the tension between Papi and Juaz, I think it's something which goes on for quite some time. And so there's that. I mean, I know that a lot of rumors were around me being replaced, but rumors are rumors. My position in Na'Vi was never endangered, not even 1%. It was some other guy's position. But it's like in the end we came to the conclusion there's no point to change our roster because we were very successful. And with the new roster, Na'Vi was actually able, in the first time since Na'Vi existed, to win some international lands. I mean, outside of Ukraine, minus the international. So, and we won the defense, we won in China, we won a lot of stuff actually. And so we were quite, like Dandy and Funnik, they didn't want to change the lineup no matter what. And I myself, I didn't care. I was like, if Dandy and Funnik don't want to change, then I don't want to change either. Because I don't want to create chaos in this team situation. I don't want to like be stupid about it or be dramatic about it.
Hmm.
So it was only between Papi and Joas.
But Rovos
But
seems like such a upbeat and nice guy. He's like, let's go have a drink together and party. It doesn't matter. It's not so important. Like, it seems like he would be the type of guy that would be able to, especially after a grand final loss, to be like, fuck it, let's go drink. We won a lot of money, guys.
oh, he is a nice guy. I never said he isn't, but
No, I know.
people have differences, right? And I mean, if the relationship between Puffy and Khawas, I don't care about it. I can only start caring about it if it affects the team. At this point, it did. So we had our talks about it, and it's like, you don't know what the future brings. Right now, we're gonna try to continue with this lineup as much as possible. So time will tell what's happening.
All right. What do you like the most about Rovos?
Um, I like him being very casual about stuff. He's very easy-minded. He's not too stressful as a person. Very enjoyable to be around generally. So I like that.
What do you like the most about Funnick?
Funnick. Uh, I, I feel like Funnick is one of the friendliest persons I know. Like he's a very I'm not gonna say pure heart, and he's a saint. That's bullshit. But he's a very good person. That's how I can judge him. Like I've spent some time with him, and he's very good-minded. He doesn't want bad for anyone, and he tries his best for our team. He puts so much effort, so I like him a lot.
Mm-hmm. And Dandy?
Dandy, well, Dandy is a retard. But no, jokes aside, Dandy, I like a lot of stuff about Dandy. I like his ambitions. He has a lot of ambitions. He truly tries to be the best or having the best team, and he's working towards it. Even though if you work, like sometimes you work towards something, but you're going the wrong road, but you don't notice it. You think if you do more of this stuff, you're gonna have success, which is not the case. It happens to Dandy quite sometimes. But then, I just smack his face and tell him, no, you have to do this, and then he says no, and then one day later he will say, yes, you're right. But like I said, I like his personality about that.
What do you like the most about Poupée?
Um, well, he's a good person. That's why he can be a good captain. He has a lot of charisma. It's hard to explain. Like I know him the best by far from all my teammates. So the better you know someone, the harder it is to explain this person in one sentence, pretty much. So I can just say he's a good human being, pretty much.
I over the course of his interviews at the International 3, I have gained. There was no one that I have gained so much respect for than Puppy, and I already respected him a shitload. And it's just the way that he was talking about things. Like he knew how strong. Like here's what I gathered from the interviews. He knew how strong his team was. He knew they could go very far. He it felt like he's a guy that's like a veteran that's gone to war before, And he's like, yeah, all these guys, and he just knew how to behave in this situation, how to go about this, and his analysis was always extremely spot on, very calm and collected, and it just seemed like this guy has got a genuine love for Dota 2, the community, and everything around, and it's yeah, I was very impressed with him, I gotta say.
Yeah, he's a very genuine person. Can't disagree with that.
Okay, I gotta tell it like it is. I've enjoyed this a lot. It's been very, very informative as always. I really enjoy talking with you, and you are one of the guys that obviously has a lot of things to say. So from my side, I'd be done, but I'm open for more. I don't know if there's been throughout this talk if there has been anything that we have talked about, that we have touched upon, where you feel like you would like to add on this. Anything that you think that still needs to be said.
Well, it's hard if I have to interview myself. I have an easy time if you ask something. I try my best.
Well, are you still in the flow? Like you still wanna? Because I mean, Dota is a complex thing.
No, we can keep talking.
We
I
can
don't
keep
mind.
talking. Don't matter. What's your opinion on Mushi? Have you had a chance to hang out with him at the international?
I He can't really speak English, so I talked a little bit with him. Like I know this guy since 2009, and he's a very likable person. I can tell you that. He's a very cool guy, very down to earth. So nothing to not like about him, to be honest.
Hmm.
And everyone likes him. Even my dad likes him. When I came back from the international, my father started talking about it, and he never really talked about Dota. So it was like the first time. And he's a fan of Mushi, so every like some days he comes to me, he's like, "Yo, what's Mushi up to?" And I'm like, "Jesus Christ, I don't know." So yeah, there's that.
What did he say when you came back about the international?
Well, he was very proud, obviously, and uh, I don't know. It's like we come from rather poor standards, and my mother is not able to work because of her sickness, and my father works as a cab driver. So this whole esports thing was my biggest point in my life to provide for my family. So he was very proud that I achieved so much. Since the money I got, it's money I don't need, so I gave it to my parents so that they can just live a easy life because my parents, they, especially my father, they've been working all their life to provide for me and my brother, and I always wanted to give something back. So when I was 15 and I started playing for Mouse and I got some tournament winnings, that was the time when I stopped taking money from my parents. Since I wanted to be independent and I didn't want to stress them, and with this international, I can finally buy them some freedom to say, like they didn't take a vacation for 10 years and they want to visit their home country, which is Iran. So I think the first thing they can do is they can fly over there and visit their family, which they didn't see for a decade. So yeah, there's that.
Oh man, that's heavy shit. uh, yeah, you should tell them to go there right now.
Yeah, I told them they should go this year even.
Oh man. So did your parents follow the whole tournament from home? They watched it.
Yeah, they did actually. I was quite surprised when they told me they were following and uh, they were watching the games. I think that's when my father became fan of Mushi, since he was always like he was saying, "Man, this guy he's crazy." I was like, "Yeah, he's crazy. He's a crazy dude." So he watched the Orange games and he watched like all Na'Vi games. But I think in German time it got quite late, till like 4 a.m. I think sometimes.
Yeah, later even, yeah.
Yeah, but they still kept on watching, so I was very surprised to be honest.
Big shout out to KuroKy's dad. What a freaking badass. And I gotta say, when I like go home from when I take the cab ride home and stuff, I think it's normal that users start talking to the cab driver a lot and stuff, but I feel like cab drivers have it so freaking hard. It's ridiculous. Like, and they all have families and they just provide for them. I can really empathize with that. It's really rough. I had a cab driver. His sons were. He talked about his family, and I told him they should ride the company I work for, and then maybe we can get some a job there as well. But it's really 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 interesting that you talk about this and your dad becoming invested. Was it an issue of your parents accepting esports, or has it been an accepted fact for a long time now with you?
Um, well, I always m- m- my parents always tell me actually my father tells me he always supports me no matter what, and my mother is going crazy about this since she wants me to study. And in my generation, since I'm from Iran, and they came after the revolution 1979, and the whole elite of Iran pretty much scattered all over the world. So they're all doctors and lawyers and very big guys pretty much.
Hmm.
So they want me to study medicine or whatever and become one of these big guys. And I was like half a year ago, before I joined NOT, when I started playing with Mouse in January, I told him give me this chance to make my hobby legit. just trust me, I will do it. Like, let me do it once for full time, because they didn't let me do it for full time. They always let me, like, I went to school and then I went to university right away. And I'm still in university, but my priority was, for the first time in my life, I set it in Dota. So I asked them to just give me this chance. So they agreed to it, and this is the result. So now they pretty much accepted it. They don't mind. Like I can do what I want right now. So
How did your mom feel after you came back? Like, what did she say to you when you returned?
well, she was just happy for me, pretty much. Just nothing special. She was just very happy. Just being a mom, she was just happy I was safe home. And that's it. I don't think she cares too much about Dota and stuff.
Oh man. Okay. I don't know. Ever since you started talking about your parents and the money, I'm gone, man. I have nothing left.
Yeah.
Uh, and you already talked a little bit about the Na'Vi situation after International 3, but I feel like it's a good decision to stick together. I mean, you achieved a lot, and there's more to be done, and yeah,
Yeah, I
maybe.
mean, sometimes changes are good, but I feel right now they're unnecessary.
Mhm.
And then again, there's always the international, and I think every team is going to realize if it needs changes or not in time. I mean, every serious contender for the international is going to realize what they have to do
Mhm.
till that tournament. And I also think it's good if we stick together. I think it's a great team. It's great personalities. I like all of them, so I feel good about it.
All right. What about Zero Gravity? What kind of a guy is he? I only met him shortly at DreamHack. Is he a cool guy?
He's definitely a cool guy. He was also he also said we have to stick together no matter what, and he was also playing part why we should stay together. Like he was talking with us. He's a very cool CEO. But I don't even know him too much, to be honest. I mean, I talked to him, but not too much, and I'm not dissatisfied with him. I can say that. I've
Mhm.
been playing under many organizations, and even though there's a lot of improvement needed in Navi, in my opinion, but generally I think he's doing a good job.
What do you think about Fata's decision to join that mixed team?
Um, well, after TI, I was hanging out a lot with the Mouse guys since they're my friends. I know them for some time now, and we have a very good relationship. So first he wanted to join Kaipi, but he was not sure about it, I think. But then Kaipi chose Aoi more over Fader, since I think Aoi was more committed to join Kaipi than Fader ever was, and they wanted one guy who was very ambitious about joining a team. And Fader was like, yeah, Kaipi is good, but apparently Aoi was like, yeah, Kaipi is the shit, so they took him. And then maybe they felt even more comfortable changing the roles. I don't know the exact reasons in the end. So he was very depressed, and we started talking. And he was asking me what to do now because he has no team and he wants to play actually, but he wasn't even sure if he wants to play. And the first thing I told him is like, either you wanna play or you don't wanna play. You have to choose right now because you can't do something as Dota, or you can't go competitive, and you can't uh, you have to realize if you wanna win something as big as the international, and this is something 80 pro players wanna do, like 16 teams, and I think even more than 16 teams, they try to participate in this tournament with all their hearts and their whole focus on this tournament. And there's a lot of money in that, so you can't say, I don't know if I want to do that. Like, either you really want to do that or you just go away. There's no place for you if you're not completely dedicated and committed. There's zero place for that kind of person. So then he realized, okay, maybe you're right. So then I told him, in order to join the competitive scene, you should just stand in for a lot of teams. So he started standing in, I think, for some teams. So he gets recognized. That's like how you get rolled into the scene. You need to present yourself. People see you, they judge you, and if they wanna give you a chance, a good team, or if they wanna create something new with you, they will do it. It's just very natural, and it seems like he got comfortable with his current team pretty quickly. So I wish him the best. I think it's a good team, and it consists of good and old school players. So yeah.
I mean, I'm also very happy for Miguel and Mania, for example. Mania has gone into retirement even a while ago, then came back out because, and that was shortly, I think, after. I don't even know. I don't want to say because I'm not sure if that's correct chronologically. But he came back, and then of course, fucking man and Sokshka. And I felt, as much as I love all the guys that are on the team, I felt like Feta is right now just a stronger caliber than the other guys. And do you feel like Feta has a personality that is suited to kind of catalyze the improvement of the other four players?
He's still very young-minded, to be honest, but I think he's the kind of person which is very healthy for a competitive scene. I was very happy to pick him up back then in Mouse. Like I I when we played in WCG for the German qualifiers, I saw him the first time, so I saw his potential, and then I could pick him up into Mouse, and now you see how much international, uh, like how much recognition he got over the time. So he's like you can see the way he plays, you can already see what kind of person he is. He plays very very aggressive and straightforward actually, and but I don't think he has right now. He doesn't have the capabilities to lead a team because he doesn't want to lead the team. But what he should be for any team, I think, is he should be the guy who you put solo mid. He's gonna rape his lane, and he's just gonna do good for your team because that's the kind of person he is. He's just a very high individual skill player.
Hmm. What do you think about the new LGD International roster and Black being the new carry of them?
Uh, well, I haven't thought much about it. Um, I
How
know
did you
that they they,
experience
they
Black?
kept uh, they kept Pygat and Misery and Brax as their core, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
They picked
they
up
picked
Black
up
and X Freedom.
an X Freedom. Okay. Um, well, I don't know what to say about it, to be honest. It's like it's such a gamble. They go to China, so let them practice, and we will see what they will do. It's
Hmm.
like last year they had LGD in, and no one really knew what they're capable of. We don't know what they can do. Suddenly they reached G League finals, and we were like, oh, this team is pretty strong. And then from there on, nothing really happened again. So we were like, oh, okay, this team is weak actually.
Hmm.
So there's that.
How did you experience Black during your time with Mouse Sports as a carry? Because I remember Feta, he wasn't criticizing Black's capability, but he was saying how unsuited the two playstyles were. You know, he was mentioning that Black is just a guy that just focuses a lot on farming, and it was hard for Mouse Sports to get Black to participate in the movements around the map. Um, what's your opinion on that?
Well, when I played with him, it's what I've seen in Black is when I started playing with him, Sing and Bumbo. We went to the Star Ladder. I think it was the fourth edition of Star Ladder, and we got to the third place. And my strategies when I picked, I knew what he can do, and I didn't really try to change him at this point because I just played around it. So I could pick him pick him some heroes which I felt he can play in some way if I build some strategy around it. So even in Starlight I was able to give him Patch actually, and we won Empire in the group stage, now in the playoffs. And we were very close to win Na'Vi too in the winner bracket final, but we lost. And so I knew what kind of person he is, and I already knew him from years ago. Like I went to him with Online Kingdom to ESWC, and of course he's a it's just truth in that he's very focused on farm, but it's not because he likes to farm. I mean, of course he likes to farm, but let me put it this way: he's a very young person, and how I can judge him as a person is that he's a very systematic player. He always has a system, probably not only as a player but also as a personality. I mean, playstyles. A lot of times, playstyles they often show the personality of the person if you can read into that. And you can always see Black has a system in his play, and he doesn't really go away from his system because he thinks his system is the best. And I think Fader's problem was that nobody could actually touch his system. Like the only guy who could do that was me when I was in Mouse. So when I left, they were all dissatisfied with the situation, and like nobody could, like I said, could change his system. And Black only, like, it's very human and natural to only trust yourself in the first place, right?
Hmm.
And Black is one of these guys who truly only trusts himself in the end. That's how I feel, at least. And so he will listen to his teammates and he will adapt to stuff, but in the end, he will not really change. He will do what he thinks is best. And when I talk about the system, it's simple like this. He knows what's good in Dota. For example, he knows if he gets the creep, it's always good. If you get gold, it's always good. Nobody can deny that, right? It's always good. But if I miss this creep and join a team fight, and this team fight is going bad, and I will miss many creeps, and I will lose gold, I will I will lose. Like, I did a mistake, but I can go for the saver option and not do that. So he rather prefers to. I'm not gonna say he rather prefers to be safe, even though it's true, but he prefers to um fucking English terms. Uh, well, I will just keep it like this.
You can say it in German. I can see if I can get it.
That's okay. He's just gonna keep to his main idea, and people have to realize the problem is not the player itself. You just have to connect with him on the same level in order to create a good team. Like, you need to know the person behind his player face, so you can talk with him, and so you can actually change something. That's why you always see Na'Vi on top. You see Na'Vi in 3 times international finals. I mean, this is very unreal, actually. We have never seen that in Dota before in 10 years. I mean, in 5, 6, 7 years of competitive Dota, we've never seen a team that dominant. And there's a reason for that. The Na'Vi guys, they know each other. They, like, even though they have the differences and stuff, they still know, like, what we have to do to be successful. We're good people together, like, we're a good social group. We drink together, we party together, and whatever, right? So, but it's like when Synderen joined them, and I left, and Alex left too, and they had no personal issues with Alex at all. I mean, I know Black and Alex had some issues, but that's not what I mean. I think they never really connected as friends. So it's like Fader and Pass were friends. KuroKy was like the middle guy, I think. Then there's Black, and then there's Synderen. So they had a very corrupted team, and nobody of them really connected with Synderen, it seems. I mean, there's reasons for everything, so there's that. That's pretty much all I can say right now.
Hmm. All right. Is there any development in the Dota 2 scene right now that you personally find very interesting? Is there anything right now where you think, why isn't the community talking about this or that?
Mm, I don't know. I don't really follow too much what people talk about.
All right.
So,
One of the last questions I asked Eternal Envy when I had the interview with him was, what is something in public games that you see a lot of people do a lot of the times that you think is wrong? And for example, Eternal Envy said people gank too much in his opinion, that they should just stay in farm sometimes instead of trying to, for example, TP and defend a tower and then lose a fight and lose a tower. What about you when you play public games, apart from the ones where you do crazy shit? What is something that people could just improve very quickly? What's something that you see a lot that people do wrong that annoys you?
well, first of all, nothing really annoys me because it's a game. And second of all, I don't really think like that. I think it's a stupid mindset, to be honest. It's like a public game is what the name says. It's a public game. Everyone can do what he wants to. and what people should do and they should do that, that's none of my business. People can play like they want, and of course Dota is a team game, and if you try to win, you're gonna do teamy stuff with your team, but I'm not gonna say what's the right thing. There is no right thing in a public game. It's just a computer game in the end. If somebody wants to play Magnus solo mid and get Mess of Madness and Daedalus and crit people, why shouldn't he? I mean, of course, he's gonna lose in the end, and it seems like you should have won DKB Refresher, you moron. I'm like, why would you flame him? I mean, of course, he lost the game, but you need to learn to enjoy losses. It's part of game. It's part of life. So there's nothing wrong with that, to be honest. If he wants to do it, if he wants to have fun, don't don't force people to play like robots and like give them items they should do and movements they should do. It takes a lot of fun away, especially for people who play a lot. You need to have some flexibility in the game, and so I don't see, I don't, I don't think you should think that way.
So something that people do too much in pubs is taking it too serious, or thinking that they have the right to tell others what to do, or
No, the first thing you said is pretty much right. Don't take it too serious.
all right. Well, I'm gonna go play a pub here soon, and then start feeding and do whatever I want. Then I guess.
Oh, you misunderstood me then.
Oh. No, I think I'm the type of guy that, for example, just doesn't do like I don't, and maybe I should try to just if I feel like doing something different, like I don't know, play Dazzle with a Desolator and phase boots, then I just should do it, you know. Maybe it will be more fun.
Well, you always have to find the balance. I mean, I can't play Bloodseeker and do 6 bracers and make my team lose. You know, that's one thing. That's stupid. And I didn't say do something stupid, but you can do stuff which you think is actually good. If you genuinely think this is the right thing, then you can do it. And if it fails, you will notice, oh, it's not good, or maybe, oh, it's not good in this situation. Then you learn something, and then you can be smart about stuff. It's what creative is being about. And the next game you can like do a similar build, not exactly the same, but you already know what's gonna be better. I mean, first of all, you still the main objective is to win the game, and so you're not gonna do stuff which makes you lose intentionally. That's another thing. That's that's just that's just being an ugly person, to be honest, in this public matchmaking system. But if you truly try to win and you notice, okay, this sucks. I mean, admit defeat. You can say sorry to your team, and nobody's gonna kill you or it's like some nice words gonna make this world better. You know, it's like somebody starts flaming you, whatever, ignore him. Somebody says, why you do this? Tell him because of that, and blah blah. It failed, my bad, and end of story. It's everyone is gonna be happy.
All right, that sounds intelligent. Um, this has been the longest interview I've ever done, and it's been extremely interesting. And I think I think we can end it then. Because I'm done. I'm done.
Sure, man.
I'm done. Uh, do you have anything that you still want to say? Any last words? Any shoutouts? Anything?
Well, shout out to my team, Na'Vi, my teammates, my sponsors. Thank you for everyone watching, or rather listening to this. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for interviewing me. And don't eat too much into rumors, people. Just, if you like a team, stick to a team. And thanks everyone for your time.
All right. So, this is the worst way to end an interview because I'm just kind of dumbfounded. I have no idea how to get out properly, but it has been at least very informative, and I hope that you guys appreciate this kind of content. If you do, then let me know in the comments, like the video, subscribe, or help me out by following me on Twitter, for example. That's at epidota2, as you can see on the screen right now. It really helps a lot more than you think. And as long as you guys support this, as long as you like it, I'm going to continue producing this content. And on that note, of course, a huge thank you to you, KuroKy, for taking the time. It's been a pleasure talking to you. It's very hard, of course, to get someone like you on an interview, so I appreciate it all the more that you took your time. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon, and I'm going to say goodbye for now.
Bye bye.